Good morning, welcome back to another episode on the RetroBrown channel. Today we are doing the final stage evolution of the Bulbasaur line, completely finishing out that line for these videos. Venusaur, the plant frog Pokemon with a big flower on his back. Actually, I really like this Pokemon. Got a base stat total of 525, it's grass poison type, and you know what? It's quite evenly spread. It's not a bad Pokemon whatsoever. It's got pretty good level up moveset, it's got pretty decent TM moveset as well. And from here, we should be alright. I think this is going to be a very good run because we know how powerful the Sleep Powder Leech Seed strat is, especially with the Hobbit video just being aired last week. And you know what? This is going to be interesting. Our rival today is going to be Tanner Johnson. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. I know you joined back in December, but I'm finally getting around to adding you to a video today. Not the ones you requested, but I feel like this one is a good Pokemon for you. So our Venusaur is going to start off with 4 moves. It's going to have Tackle, Growl, Leech Seed and Vine Whip. Some great moves for this early point in the game, especially for the first 2 gyms. And of course we also start off with Leech Seed, which is just fantastic. I love when we start off with Leech Seed, because it just means this is going to be so much easier for us with longevity in fights. And I believe, you know what? I'm saying this now at the start of the video, this possibly could be an SS tier run if we work it right and we manage to get through the fights in pretty quick succession. So let's see how we do. Once we've delivered Oak's package, which could be the GS Ball, whoever knows, from here we can progress on to Brock, and we're going to try and do this at minimum battles as well. So, you know what? Let's see how we do, because this should be a very easy fight for us against Brock. I'm saying should. It really should be, to be fair. Brock has got 2 rock ground type Pokemon, and Vine Whip is a one-shot at level 7 on the Geodude. Onix tries to go for Bide, but even though, you know what? Kind of impressed that Onix managed to tank at least 1 Vine Whip there. We take an extremely quick win and progress on to Mount Moon. Now we are going to go against all the mandatory trainers here. They're mandatory, so we have to. But these pose a bit of a problem, which is going to lose us some time. Because they resist the grass type, we're going to have to rely on Tackle here to deal out bigger damage. But we do manage to get up a couple of good levels here. Vine Whip is doing alright against the Caterpies, it's 2-shot on them. But because of the amount of fights we have to deal with here that are just mandatory, we are going to lose some time compared to other runs. Ideally, we just need to get some critical hits, which we should get because we've got a decent speed stat. We won't get them all the time, but we should get a decent amount of them going through this. By the time we get Razor Leaf, like that the critical hit chance will massively increase because of how Razor Leaf works. But we need to start dealing out a lot more damage to get through these fights. Now, the next gym leader up, of course, is Misty, which, considering we've got Vine Whip on our moveset, it'll be an easy fight. But we need to get there first, and just battling against all these mandatory trainers, it just takes up time, and it's time that I would rather be spent put towards the league. But we'll see how we do anyway. The Metapods are kind of annoying because they do only use Harden, meaning our tackles don't do anywhere near as much damage, but we managed to get through this point and all the way through Mount Moon towards the level of level 15-16. Super Nerd's got Poison type Pokemon, which again, our grass type moves do not do well against. Tackle is really pulling its punches here, but against the Voltorb we can finally use Vine Whip to deal out bigger damage. Final Coffin though, it doesn't do very much against us, and we can't be poisoned because of our poison type. So we can get the Helix Fossil and progress on to Misty, which will be a pretty easy fight for us with Vine Whip on our moveset. Let's see how we do. So, Misty always starts off with her Staryu, and because we are a grass type, they are not going to use their water type moves whatsoever. Both Starmie and Staryu are going to only use Tackle on us, so we just sweep through with Vine Whip, grab an easy win, and progress on to the next gym, which of course is Vermilion. But before we go to Vermilion, we always have the rival fight on Nugget Bridge, and considering he starts off with a Pidgeotto here, it's not a great matchup for us. We don't want to be hit by Quick Attack, but we are going to use Leech Seed for the first time in this video, just to make sure we can keep our HP up, because that Charmander will have Ember by the end of this fight, so we need to keep our HP up. The Rattata also has Hyper Fang, which deals out good damage, But in this fight, for some reason, he barely goes for Ember. He goes for Ember and then Scratch. And from here, we take a win, which is pretty good. We're doing decent, and we can progress on to the SSM, where we can pick up my favourite TM of all time, which is Body Slam in Gen 1. Just such a great move. But before we have to deal with that, we have to get past this Nidoran, and we actually take a loss there. So we lose some time here, and that's not great. Venusaur, without Body Slam, it's just not very good because Tackle is not a good move. But with Body Slam, this thing becomes an absolute demon. It can outspeed the Kadabra at this range, but that will change later in the fight. But with Body Slam, it also gets the paralysis status effect. We beat the rival first time and move on to Lieutenant Surge, which there should be another easy fight. But we lose more time here because, of course, I'm trying to find the bloody switches. I hate this gym puzzle. Surge starts off with Voltorb. Now, this Voltorb can do big damage if you are on low HP because of Sonic Boom, but the Pikachu's got very weak defences, and the Raichu knows for a fact that Thunderbolt won't do too much, and we take an easy win. That's 3 very easy gym badges to start off the game with, and we progress on to Rock Tunnel. Now, a quick way to get back to Cerulean and save some time: if you have not used the Pokemon Center in Vermilion, you can dig in that house and take you straight back to Cerulean City, cutting out a lot of time here. Also, I like to use the route down below to use Cut here and then progress over to Rock Tunnel. The Rapping Lass here, she's not going to be too much of an issue really. Body Slams. I'm surprised they're not one-shot in the Oddishers, but they will one-shot the Bellsprouts. Oddish seems to have a lot more HP to work with, and we annoyingly do get paralysed. So we will have to visit the Pokemon Center before Rock Tunnel, but that brings us to the Hiker, the Exploding Hiker in Rock Tunnel, who cannot stand up to the might of a Vine Whip. He's very allergic to grass, what can I say? That's Rock Tunnel completed, and of course the next rival fight in Lavender Tower, where he's upgraded his team massively to include some really hard hitters. Body Slam, just such a good move for this run, and it's going to take at least 3 shots on the Execute. Annoyingly, the Execute does use Barrage and uses Hypnosis, which just kind of stalls out for time. But Gyarados, it's got Dragon Rage at this point, so we need to keep our HP high and hope to God that he doesn't use Dragon Rage all too much. Kadabra still can't outspeed us at this point, but we're on 47 HP going into that Charmeleon, but 2 Body Slams more than enough to take it down. Take a win and progress on to Celadon City. So Celadon City has the Grass type gym, and this shouldn't be a problem for us really. Reason why this won't be a problem: she's barely going to use her Grass type moves. She will try and use a lot of Poison Powders because we have got the Grass type and they think that is super effective, but our Poison subtype also cancels that out. Progress on to Vileplume, and you know what? First 4 badges for Venusaur, incredibly easy. This might be the best Pokemon for the early game, like the best starter for the early game Pokemon. Giovanni, of course, not going to be a problem whatsoever. We picked up the Mega Drain TM from Erica, and we got another stab move to be able to deal out good damage and recover HP. So now our moveset is looking like Body Slam, Mega Drain, Razor Leaf, and what other move have I got? Leech Seed. Yeah, Leech Seed. What's annoying about the Venusaur line compared to its pre-evolutions, we don't get Sleep Powder until level 55. Now, considering we want that move to be able to use the good strategies, it's not very good level to be getting it because we're going to be at the Pokemon League, meaning we've got all of these gym fights to do without Sleep Powder. And Sabrina will be a big issue there, because we can't outspeed or we can't put a Pokemon to sleep. They're going to deal big damage out because Psychic is super effective against us. After we completed Lavender Tower, we head straight for Silph Co, because even at this level, I mean we're level 37, we should be alright in this fight. The major thing is we don't want to be hit by wing attacks. We want to recover HP where we can. And the Rhyhorn coming up, well, I don't think he has Rhyhorn at this point, but either way, the Gyarados, we don't want it to be using Dragon Rage here. We want to get Paralyzed, keep our HP up, and Razor Leaf where we can. Alakazam here, it can outspeed now, and Body Slam is not a one-shot. So, what are the options we've got? Well, I actually decided, let's leave Silph Co for a little while and get a few more levels and another badge, so we don't have to come back this way. Let's head down to Fuchsia City, and let's go against Koga, the Poison-type gym leader. He should not be too much of a problem really, 'cause it's more of his gym trainers that are annoying because they actually have psychic type Pokemon. But let's see how we do. Major thing in this fight, we don't want to be hit by self-destruct on the Weezing, because it'll deal massive damage out to us. So we just need to keep our HP high, chip away when and as we can, and hopefully get around the muck using minimise when it does. Because of the X attacks that he uses in this fight, sludges do big damage on us, and it's not resisted, it's technically neutral on us because grass is weak to poison, but then poison is not super effective against poison, so yeah, it cancels itself out. We're on 62 HP going into the Weezing, but because of X attacks and sludge doing decent damage, we actually take a loss against Koga. I was not expecting that. That's our first gym leader loss so far, and I'm not happy about it. This time we go hell for leather. Body slamming the entire way, leech seeding as we can to keep our HP up, and even using Mega Drain to keep ourselves at high HPs. We don't want to be hit by the X attack sludges because they'll just do big damage to us. And from here, Coughing will go down pretty quickly to 2 Razor Leafs. Last up's the Weezing, but we're on full HP here. We'd honestly rather get hit by a self-destruct right now, but he's going for sludges instead. Thankfully, Leech Seed is keeping our HP healthy, and we managed to take the win. That's 5 gym badges, but we need to contend back with Silph Co now. And hopefully the 2 levels that we've got here will really help us out. So let's see how we do. We've got up to level 40 now, and Body Slam is nearly a 2-shot on the Pidgeot. We've taken quite a bit of damage from Wing Attack, but from here, we're going to use Body Slam, take out Execute, and move into the Gyarados. Now, we are going to go for the Leech Seed strats, Mega Drain, try and keep our HP up. So we can go into that Alakazam with more HP, then we should be alright, but we're down on 20 HP. Can we outspeed this Alakazam? We can, and it's a 1-shot with a crit, bringing us into Charizard, but Ember takes us down. We're not too far away now, though. Let's try this again. This time, Body Slam manages to get through, and we only take 1 Wing Attack. We can't use Leech Seed on Execute. What am I trying to do there? Because it's Grass type, and Leech Seed won't hit grass types. We Leech Seed the Gyarados, we Body Slam it and paralyze it, keeping our HP high going into the Alakazam. We know we can outspeed at this range, but it has to be a critical hit. And we go into the Charizard with 54 HP. Thankfully, he doesn't have Flamethrower at this point and only Ember, meaning we can take a win and progress on to Giovanni. Pick up our Surf Pokemon in Lapras, and from here, we should be alright for a little while till we get to Sabrina. Against this Rocket here, we can use Mega Drain, get our HP back up before the Giovanni fight, and that way we don't have to use any healing items or return to that nurse. Body Slam is just taking out most of the Pokemon. We're going to go for Razor Leaf against the Kangaskhan, where it's a 1-shot. And we also get the chance to learn Growth, which we are not going to do because we do not badge boost glitch on this channel anymore. So, Growth is... If we got it right at the start of the game, we would have used it there because badge boost does not play into effect. But we do not use it in the later halves. Once we've beaten Giovanni, we can go and pick up the HMO for strength, and then progress back over to Saffron City for a hard gym fight against Sabrina. Now, I thought this would be the first gym we'd lose against. I didn't think we'd lose to Koga, but let's see how we do. Major thing about this fight, all of the Pokemon are pretty defensively weak, so as long as you can outspeed, you can deal out 1-shot damage with Body Slam. Venomoth is a bit of a mixed bag. It does have decent defenses compared to the others, and thankfully, oh no, it did go for Psybeam. I was hoping that she'd go for 2 Psywaves there, but the first Psywave actually did decent damage on us. It's a very random move to use, deals out random damage between a certain amount. So yeah, it's kind of a luck of the draw when they use Psywave. She goes for the Psywave again, we get it paralysed, and that paralysis counted, giving us the opportunity to get another Body Slam in and get the win. That's 6 gym badges, and we can progress on to the next hard gym fight for us. Later half of this game does have a lot of hard gym fights for Venusaur, with like Sabrina and Blaine, and of course you've got Lorelei coming up, who was super effective against us as well. Let's see how we do against Blaine. Blaine's going to start off with his Growlithe, and it does have Psychic type attacks, meaning it will go for agility quite a bit. Ponyta will go for the Fire Spins, which have... If you watch back far enough into my channel for the Cloyster run, Fire Spin just decimated Cloyster. Like, it was a decent rope until that point, and then Fire Spin came out and it just ruined it. Fire Blast, of course, takes us down, and at level 45, we're going to need to try this again. We might be able to tank a Fire Blast if we're on full HP, but not when we're about halfway down. We need to get better luck against this, and thankfully this time Fire Spin does not hit. Body Slam is just tearing through every single team here. This is why I like the move so much. It deals out big damage, gets you the paralysis effect, and thankfully it was fully paralysed for that final hit. That brings us to Gym 8, which is the final gym leader we need to contend against, and that of course is Giovanni. Now Giovanni, not going to be much of a problem for us. The big problem is his Doug Trio, because it actually knows a ground type move in Dig that will deal out big damage, and it's a fast Pokemon, so I'm quite scared for that one. But everything else on his team, nah, it's going to be quite easy to deal with. Once we've beaten the mandatory trainers in his gym, where there's pretty much just 2 that you need to do that are mandatory. Oh, I actually went against this guy. That's not a good thing. He does have a Sand Slash though, and Mega Drain was one shot on that. We do manage to outspeed this Doug Trio, but I'm not sure we'll outspeed Giovanni's. Let's see how we do. Giovanni starts off with his Rhyhorn, and this is not a problem for Mega Drain. One shot KO. Next up is Doug Trio, and we actually outspeed it at this level, which is pretty good. Meaning, we're going into the Nidoqueen, full HP, and we can just use Body Slam to chip it away. 4 Body Slams take it down, that brings it into Nidoking. He goes for a Guard Spec of all things, which he seems to do quite a lot. And then a final Mega Drain takes out the Rhydon. Very easy fight, and gives us a little bit of confidence just before the league. But before the league, of course, we have Tanner Johnson to contend with again. And he's got a much more stacked team to deal with here. He's now got Flamethrower on his Charizard. His Alakazam's a higher level. This should be difficult. So, he starts off with his Pidgeot, who does have Psychic-type moves on his roster this time, but he just seems to go for Wing Attack. But it's not too much of a problem, because the Rhyhorn that next comes out, we can recover a lot of our HP back against. Body Slam 2 shots the Execute. That brings us into Gyarados. We don't have Sleep Powder at this point, and I really don't want to have to level up to be able to beat this part of the game with it. So I want to try and do this as low level as possible. Alakazam's out next, and we actually do outspeed it for some reason. Did we get hit by a few Leers? Possibly got hit by a few Leers, but no. Flamethrower deals big damage out. So we needed to level up. Yes, I tried this fight a lot of times, and it just didn't become possible because of Flamethrower of all things. So we leveled up to level 55, we've got more speed to work with, and now we have Sleep Powder over Razor Leaf. So, Body Slam takes out the Execute again, Sleep Powder misses against the Gyarados, but we can finally get it to sleep, Body Slam it into the ground, and that brings in Alakazam. Now Alakazam, in the previous fight, it was actually a speed tie, so the reason why we actually managed to beat it was just because that speed tie worked in our favour for one fight. But more than that, it was usually taking us out in one hit with Psychic. This time with Sleep Powder, we can get the win and progress onto the Pokemon League. And the biggest challenge of the Pokemon League is going to be right at the start, and then also in the middle. If you know which Elite Four trainers I'm talking about, you'll just know. Lorelei, of course, is going to be first. She's going to be very annoying. But because of the moveset we've got, Agatha is going to be a big challenge. We've already got Grass-type moves to work with to hit her. So yeah, this will be interesting. Let's see how we do against Lorelei. Lorelei, because she does have a lot of Water-type Pokemon, shouldn't be the worst thing in the world for us. As long as we can outspeed and get him to sleep, we should be alright. But the Cloyster does not go to sleep. We can Mega Drain against it to do big damage and get our HP back. And it's at this point in the fight, I was like, actually, you know what? Lorelei's kind of easy for a Venusaur. When I think back to my very first runs in Pokemon Blue, back when the game very first came out, Venusaur was not my Pokemon of choice. It was actually Squirtle that was my first Pokemon of choice. Second time played through the game, I used a Bulbasaur, and I saw the power of it back then. It was a great Pokemon to use, but it was better team play than it was a solo runner. And yeah, it just gave me a newfound respect for it. We beat Lorelei and move on to Bruno pretty quickly. Bruno is not going to be a problem for us, but that's a problem. For the first time in this run, I think we've actually just seen counter on Hitmonchan actually work. Oh god, we're not going to lose to Bruno, are we? I hate it when we lose to Bruno. No, we're not going to lose to him. We get back up to full HP going into the Machamp. But wow, that Hitmonchan actually did something for once. Let's move on to Agatha and see how we do there. Agatha, of course, this is just going to be annoying because like in the Hoppip run that we've just had in the Johto region, Leech Seed is pretty much the best thing we've got to deal with for these because we don't have any other like attacking moves. We got rid of Razor Leaf, which could have been a problem. We could have learnt Solar Beam, but that's the 2-turn move, and you know how I feel about them. So we're going to have to rely on Mega Drain and Leech Seed, and we're going to have enough PP to do this. I'm not too sure. Annoyingly, we do get confused by the Golbat, but we take it down, bring this back into the Gengar, and that's also got rid of the Leech Seed, so we need to get it back to sleep, Leech Seed it, and then Mega Drain as and when we can. That way we can keep our PP up, keep our HP up, and hopefully just start taking it down after a long, arduous fight. This is only the first Gengar, by the way. But yeah, we finally take down that first Gengar, Haunter comes out, and we miss Sleep Powder on the first turn. 2 more Sleep Powders manage to get back to sleep, and then we start Mega Draining once it's... Oh, for God's sake, stop waking up. Stop waking up. How many Sleep Powders are we going to miss here? This is ridiculous. Okay, we're back in a good position. It's back to sleep, we're gaining HP back, and Leech Seed takes it out. Arbok is out next, and we are going to go for this... Oh, we got paralysed, man. This fight... Wow, this just went on for so long. And this fight alone might be the reason why we can't attain what we set out to. We managed to get Gengar to sleep, we start Mega Drain, then Leech Seeding. We're just going to go for it now. Right, we've ran out of all PP for Mega Drain. We're just relying on Leech Seed. We're going for the Body Slams to waste time. And Leech Seed is still... Oh, she goes for a Super Potion. As long as she doesn't hit us, we're fine. We are fine as long as we don't get hit. We use our last Sleep Powder and get it back to sleep. But she wakes up straight away. We're going to have to go for the Body Slams here. And thankfully, because of Agatha's terrible AI, we managed to wait out all of the Super Potions, the Leech Seed damage, and take a win. That took so long. Let's go destroy Lance. Lance starts off with his Gyarados, and as soon as we can get it to sleep, this should be Gucci. So, keeping it asleep is the main thing. Body Slam, chipping away at it. I'm actually quite surprised how little damage we are doing with Body Slam. We have not invested in any vitamins, which I don't do on these runs, to be fair. But thankfully, there's only 2 Pokemon that are a threat on this team. It's the Aerodactyl and the Gyarados. Pretty much because every other Pokemon has got Psychic type moves, and they will spam that against a Poison type. So this is a great Pokemon to go against Lance with. Annoyingly, he is going to use his Hyper Potions up. But with enough Arduous Strain, we can just keep chipping away at it. Once the Dragonite is Leech Seeded, it's a matter of time for us to win. We can Body Slam away. All he's going to do is use Agility and Barrier. It's an easy win for a Grass Poison Pokemon. And that brings us to the champion. Tanner Johnson, let's see how you do here. So Tanner is going to send out his Pidgeot first. And thankfully we get it to sleep before any big damage comes our way in the form of Sky Attack. Brings into Alakazam, who goes for a Reflect. Thank God it went for that first. And we get a critical hit taking us into the Rhydon. We go for a Mega Drain, which is a one-shot, and wow, this Venusaur is just sweeping through now. As long as we can get Executor to sleep, Body Slamming away should be easy enough for us, but then we get put to sleep ourselves and start taking damage from Stomp. Really weird why this Executor has only got 3 moves in the very final rival fight, but this is Gen 1 and it is very weird. Brings us into Gyarados, where we're going to try and get some HP back with Mega Drain Leech Seed. And from here, we should be on full HP going into the final Charizard. And that Charizard, as long as we can outspeed, we will be fine. We can sleep. Yes, we outspeed and Sleep Powder. This fight is ours. Venusaur is going to become the champion. Good fight, Tanner. Let's see what you do in the video you actually requested when that comes up. But let's see what time we actually finished on. Did we reach SS tier? Let's see what we got. Level 61. 3 hours, 8 minutes. That Agatha fight. God damn you, Agatha. We could have had an SS tier starter Pokemon, but that just didn't happen here. Oh well, let's see what we get next on the wheel. For next week, we got Nidoqueen up first. That would round out the Nidoqueen, or all the Nidoran lines actually. Second up is Dragonite. That's popped up on a few videos recently. Not sure I'm up for the rap strats yet. And last up is Coffin. You know what? I think we should close out the Nido line next week with Nidoqueen. If you got to this point in the video, guys, please smash that like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. And we will see you next week for the Nidoqueen run. Take care.